Do you know what it means when someone describes you as having a low base of the neck versus a high base of the neck? I'm going to tell you today. And actually, this is take 2 for Fit Tip Tuesday because I shot the entire video and I forgot to turn my table camera on. So I'm going to do it again. But I guess the cool thing is I have the finished adjustment here ready to show you. And I will show you that in 1 second. But the first thing I want to talk about here is I got a question from a subscriber about how to adjust a bodice pattern for a low base of the neck and then also an erect back. Now those things go hand in hand with each other, and actually the fun thing is those two things require the same adjustment in the back. So this is going to be a really cool tutorial, and I'm going to show you what I did, but I just want to explain what low base of neck versus high base of neck means, because it doesn't have anything to do with where your neck is on your body. It has to do with how your neck sits on your shoulders. So you can see my neck sits right on my shoulders, and there isn't really any slope up to my neck. If I had a slope up to my neck, that would be either average or a high base of the neck, because the neck is raised because of the slope of your shoulder. I have a low base of the neck because I almost have an L-shaped curve here. Okay, so see how I'm very straight? I almost have no slope, and I've almost got an L-shaped curve at the base of my neck going from my shoulder to my neck. That's what a low base of a neck is, and it can cause fitting issues because if it's more angled here than average, you're going to end up with too much length because it's likely the neckline will sit up above you. And this is something I did not include in the efficient workflow for bodice fitting, so I'm throwing in this additional video to help people with this shape. So look here, you can see this is what a high base of the neck looks like. I just did a line drawing to show you that the slope of the shoulder contributes to the base of your neck sitting higher up because the shoulder is coming up to meet you. That's what we're talking about today. I'm going to do this hand in hand with an erect back. Now, what do I mean by an erect back? I mean a back that is straighter than average. If you followed along with me, you know I covered how to adjust your pattern for a high round curve and how to adjust your pattern for prominent shoulder blades. Well, you can have a fitting issue if you have less of a curve than average as well. What's the difference between a curved line and a straight line? The curved line is longer than the straight line. So if you have an erect back, that means you have a shorter distance from the base of your neck to the midpoint of your back. So you can probably see where I'm going with this. If an erect back is shorter, your neckline in the back is going to be riding up on you, right? And also if you have a low base of your neck and no shoulder slope, well, the neckline is going to be sitting up or riding up in the back. And it will probably also ride up in the front if you have a low base of your neck. So let me show you how I adjusted these pattern pieces, and then I'll show you how to do it. So I guess that's the benefit of me shooting the whole thing without my other camera. But you can see here, let me just put them this way so you can see. So this is the back, and you can see basically what we did was we pushed down the shoulder and the back neckline to get rid of the excess vertical length. And in the front, we did the same thing. So I'm going to show you how to do this now. And it's a very easy adjustment, so I'm kind of excited about that. So I'll show you step by step. Okay, I'm going to move these out of the way. All right, so I have a new back and a new front. So let's start in the back. So if you have pulling fabric in the middle of your upper back, that's an indication that you need to get rid of that vertical length. Or if your neck is riding up in the back, you can figure out how much that is approximately. That's how much of an adjustment you're going to do. So for this example, I'm going to say that we're going to remove 1/4 inch of vertical length because this is a half scale pattern. So I'm going to draw my pivot points first. So I'm going to pivot at the tip of the shoulder. I'm going to pivot at the end of the shoulder and neckline, and I'm going to cut through the center back seam just below the neck. So I'm going to start by drawing myself a line that's horizontal, and I'm going to draw it until I get below the shoulder neckline intersection, like that approximately. And then I'm going to angle up to the tip of the shoulder like that. And then I'm going to create a second guideline, which I call my control point, from there to the neckline shoulder intersection. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark how much we're going to adjust, and I'm going to use a different color here just to make it fun. So let's say we're going to lower the back neckline a 1/4 inch. So there's my 1/4 inch marking right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slash through my center back and up to the tip of the shoulder where I'm going to make a pivot. And then I'm also going to cut up my control point and make a pivot there. All right, now here is the cool thing about this adjustment. All I have to do is make sure I have nice pivots. So see, I'm sort of flexing them back and forth to make sure they're going to go with me. And all I have to do is literally drag this down until everything is laying flat and my lower edge is parallel to my horizontal guideline I drew. And I'm just going to stick a piece of tape there to hold it. Okay, so you can see what happens is this control point spreads a little bit because the center back pushed out a little bit, and that's okay. We're going to true this up by just redrawing the top of the center back so it stays the same, like that. And then you can see we have lowered the back neckline, and also we have reduced the slope of the shoulder. Those things go hand in hand. So I'm just going to put a piece of paper under here, and I'm just going to color it red just to make sure it stands out nicely for you guys, like this. Oops. Just put a piece of tape right here. All right, so then I can color this red. So this is what's spread open right here. But you can see I trimmed it back off over here. So we lowered this to shorten it. So this will take care of either a low base of the neck in the back or a more erect, straight back. Now in the front, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to deal with the neckline. We're not going to go into the center front because the neckline is more open. We want to shorten the neckline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the same pivot points. So here and here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through the straight part of the neckline. So I'm basically going to just draw myself a diagonal line from the tip of the shoulder to there. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a control point there. So it's very similar. This time I'm going to cut through the front neckline to the tip of the shoulder to make a pivot. And then I'm also going to cut through my control point and make a pivot at the shoulder neckline intersection. All right, I'm going to use my Sew Tight boosters to hold the pattern right here, because watch how cool this is. All I have to do is pull this down and spread the control point until it lays flat, and I line the neckline back up. So I'm pulling it down and over. So see, I'm not just if I just push it down, then I have to true up my neckline, see? But if I pull it down and out like this, I'm maintaining the shape of my neckline, and it should get wider because the shape of the neckline is actually getting wider as we go down. So that's how you adjust it in the front. And you can see that's a one quick adjustment like that. Very nice and easy. And again, I'll put some paper here. Okay, and then let me just, I'm going to tape that down here. Oops, wait a minute. Just tape that down like that. And then I could go ahead and color in. Oops, that's the end of my tape. I just played tape chicken and won. You know, thread chicken or bobbin thread chicken. Well, I just ran out of tape at the perfect moment. All right, let's just color this in. All right, so it's spread there just like it did in the back. I don't have to true up my neckline because it's lining up. And again, I lowered, and let me just draw where I lowered. So this was all removed. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out so we can check to make sure the transition from front to back is nice and smooth. All right, so what I'm going to check for now is if I have a good transition front to back. All right, so as I'm lining these up, we just want to make sure that our transition from front to back works. And you can see I have a nice smooth transition. It may be that if I put this ruler here, see how it's peeking out slightly right there? So I would just go in and, oops, I would just go in and just smooth this out a sliver just to make sure it's nice and straight there. And then if I turn it around so we can see the neckline better, let's just make sure we have a nice transition front to back, and we do. Okay, so that's how you adjust your pattern pieces for a low base of your neck, meaning you have an L-shaped angle from your neck to your shoulder because you don't have a big slope on your shoulder, you have flatter shoulders. And if you have a straight or erect back, that's how you would adjust for that as well. So I hope this helps, and if you have any questions or comments, please post those below and I will help you with them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you're enjoying my content, consider liking and subscribing to my channel because it helps me grow. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for watching.